It seems like there is no end to the COVID wars in China. In the latest, the country has placed around 1.7 million people under virus lockdown in the eastern province of Anhui. This comes after the province reportedly nearly 300 new cases in the last 24 hours, half of which are asymptomatic. Anhui reported hundreds of cases last week, which raised alarm in the region. Following this, the Sichuan and Ningbi counties in the province announced lockdowns. The 1.7 million residents of the region are only permitted to leave their homes for getting their COVID tests done. Authorities have now brought in a sixth round of mass testing in the province to track and even trace the extent of the virus spread. Today's infection count brings the total cases in the region to over 1,000. Provincial governor has urged local authorities to implement quick screening and rapid quarantining of infected people. Meanwhile, the neighboring province of Jiangsu has reported 56 new infections in the last 24 hours, though the total number of cases remain low in relation to China's population. The zero COVID policy has plunged millions of people into lockdown yet again. The latest outbreak in Anhui comes after the Chinese economy had started showing signs of recovery from the months-long lockdown in Shanghai. Beijing was also not spared from strict COVID restrictions, from targeted lockdown to mass testing. China imposed some of the hardest COVID regulations since the start of the pandemic. This is part of China's zero COVID strategy. The regulations came as China witnessed one of the worst COVID flare-ups since its initial outbreak. And for more on this, Patrick Folk is joining us live from Shenzhen, China. Patrick, good to see you. There must be a lot of anxiety, especially in Anhui, following this latest outbreak, and residents of these areas must be outraged at the thought of another lockdown. Is that the general feeling at this moment?
Well, I don't know about outrage, but certainly there will be a lot of anxiety. You talked about some of the numbers of people that were under at least partial lockdown in Xi County in Anhui province. Around 800,000 people there have been put under full lockdown. And as you mentioned, the big concern really is, what does this mean for the economy? The worry about Anhui province is that it could spread to the neighboring Jiangxi province, which is an important manufacturing output center for China, the second most important, in fact, and an important producer of solar panels worldwide. There are also cases that have cropped up in Zhejiang and in Shanghai, which, as you say, has just recovered from a bad resurgence of COVID-19, and the worry is that it could spread right across the Yangtze Delta River region, which accounts for a quarter of China's economy. So, one wonders just how far can China go with its zero COVID policy. President Xi Jinping talked about how the country was sticking with it last week, and that he would rather the country suffer some slowdown in economic developments than risk the safety of people's lives. But at the moment, this policy seems very difficult to maintain.
Patrick, let's talk more about your last point there. In essence, is the China zero COVID policy really working?
Sorry, can you repeat that, please?
Is the China zero COVID policy really working?
Well, I mean, it depends how you look at it exactly. I mean, remember that Beijing and Shanghai did recover after 2 very long months of lockdowns and continuous testing, and they did essentially stamp out most cases in both those parts of China. But again, we're seeing this resurgence, and we're not just talking about, the places we mentioned a moment ago. Also in Hong Kong, we're seeing 2,000 cases a day. Macau also, it's had a resurgence of the virus. It's had more cases than it's seen since the start of the pandemic, and its first deaths occur in just the last couple of days as well. So it just appears as though this policy, as we have been saying before, this sort of game of whack-a-mole that China is playing, is very difficult to maintain. it does work, but it's like taking a sledgehammer to, well, something that is impossible to eliminate altogether. So it depends which way you look at it. The numbers are, of course, very, very low in China, particularly taking into account the size of the population. But there is going to be a huge impact on the economy, and it is difficult to say just how much people in China can endure.
We'll have to end this conversation there. Thank you very much, Patrick Folk, for your inputs today. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.